Can my parents force a paternity test update? Last post. I'd like to take a minute to say thank you to everyone who responded to my last post. Your advice helped prepare me for what came next. Pretty soon after I posted, I received a letter in the mail from a lawyer that basically said that my parents were demanding a paternity test on the basis of grandparents' rights. I knew from my post that it was unlikely that a lawyer would take this case, so I googled the law firm and lawyer's name. I couldn't find the lawyer's name anywhere, but the law firm was real, so I reached out to them. The letter was fake and the law firm was not happy. They asked for the letter and are pursuing some sort of legal action against my parents. I don't know exactly what's happening as I have not been in contact with my parents in a while. In other news, my daughter was recently diagnosed with a very minor skin condition that is fairly uncommon and that I also have, which means she's most likely mine after all. We still won't be doing a paternity test anytime soon, but it was helpful for our peace of mind. Thanks again for the advice, everyone. Didn't receive product in the mail. Now company is suing me out of state for $10,000. Throwaway, located in Oklahoma, being sued in Ohio by company in Ohio. I ordered some wedding dresses from an online site that offered a try-on period. This required ID signature delivery. I signed everything as presented by FedEx, but I did not get all the dresses. I did return all the dresses that did arrive, and they confirmed receipt of those. I informed them as such, and remained in constant contact. They had me file a missing package report, to which FedEx told me they had to file. After not hearing back on an email, they charged my card $3,800 and said they attempted to charge $9,000 more but could not. We reported this to our card and card found in our favor. To my knowledge, my husband knows I feel incredibly guilty about this whole thing. An attorney sent a demand letter, and shortly after I saw in my informed delivery I have mail coming from Franklin County Court. Lo and behold, I looked it up, and I have a civil case against me, and it's mail to service. I'm in the hospital and they haven't been able to deliver. I'm severely disabled and on low income. I'm not in possession of these dresses, nor was I ever. What is my best move, and what do I need to do? Is this something that I absolutely need an attorney for? Any advice is very appreciated. Thank you. Doctor called my mother with test results after I explicitly told them I'm no longer associated with her number. This takes place in Pennsylvania. I went to the doctor for a suspected blood clot. I arrived at the family doctor. They had some of my contact information wrong, so we rehashed addresses and phone numbers. When we got to phone numbers, the woman working the desk read mine aloud. I said, "Yep, that's mine." She proceeds to say, and insert my mom's #. I explicitly state that I'm no longer associated with that phone number. I ask the receptionist to remove it. She nods. Cool. We are out of the woods. I get sent for imaging at a specialized facility. Get my ultrasound. No blood clot. Cool. We are out of the woods. I get stuck in traffic for about an hour and a half driving home. I got several phone calls I couldn't pick up because I refused to use my phone while driving. I get home, see a missed call from my family doctor, and call them back. Hey, it's a negative for a blood clot. I already knew that, but thank you. Have a good day. I get inside, and I was tagged in a Facebook post by my mother. I see she has also taken to messaging me on Facebook. Hey, the doctor's office said your mailbox was full. You are negative for DVT. They notified my mother after I explicitly told them that her number was not to be a part of my contact information. What are my options here? This is not the first time something like this has happened. I had a doctor at the same facility go into the waiting room and relay everything I begged her to keep secret to my mother, in earshot of literally every unoccupied person in the facility at that point in time about 6 years ago, when I was 16. There has to be some kind of recourse for this. This is terrible practice. My father just died and left $60,000 to my minor niece, and I want to make sure the money is protected. As the title says, my dad just died and left everything to his kids and grandkids. There are 6 of us total. My niece, who is 15, inherited about $60,000 in stock. Due to her poor home situation, she currently lives with her mother's sister. Her father, my brother, and mother are both junkies, and I expect them to blow their portion of the inheritance quickly. How can I protect my niece's inheritance from her dad and current legal guardian until she becomes an adult? My dad's sister is the executor of his will and shares my concern. Thank you for your time and help. Put my 2 weeks in, and boss is retaliating. Okay, so I put my 2 weeks in yesterday, and my boss did no respond well. I'm a dental hygienist in AL. In October, my boss paid for half of a continuing education course. She did not have me sign a contract saying she would pay for this course, and I had to stay in her employment for X amount of months after, or I would have to pay it back. But after I put my 2 weeks in, she said she would be deducting the $750 from my last check. Is this legal? Neighbor wants to investigate my disability and medical marijuana card. Edited to say I live in Illinois, a legal state. I smoke daily due to multiple chronic conditions, and I'm too young and don't feel comfortable to go on opioids. Our backyards are facing each other and divided by a fence. I never go out to smoke when her kids are out, and having video photo proof I'm always out alone out of courtesy, not that I have to. Today she came up saying I should go to the front because her kids smell it and they smell it in their house and it probably isn't prescription. I immediately cut her off, said it was, and she then said she was going to be investigating into this. BC, I can't be out here. I'm always as far away from her side as possible to try to be nice even though my shade is near her side, but I want to make sure she has no case. I've never gone off my property or made conversation with them while smoking. They always interact with me. Can she investigate anything? I have a valid card and I'm of age. She is literally in the medical field too. My mom is trying to get me to pay her back $20K. Hey everyone. I'm 24 and my mom just told me she has a spreadsheet of everything I owe her money for, totaling around $20K. These expenses are things that she has paid for me over the years: car insurance, school expenses, my very first car, etc. Am I legally required to pay her back? Ex-wife will not let daughter drive while at my house. I have 50-50 custody of my daughter with my ex-wife. My daughter recently turned 16. I was planning on scheduling a road test for her, but my ex signed the road test waiver. We live in Wisconsin. My ex says that, since she signed the waiver and that makes her liable, my daughter is not allowed to bring her driver's license to my house during my custody. Is my ex legally able to do this? Is there anything I can do to force my ex to allow my daughter to bring her driver's license to my house so she can drive while staying with me? Any input is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Discovered we bought a counterfeit product on Amazon. So, I was gifted an expensive chef's knife last Christmas. Bought on Amazon. I could not get it as sharp or stay sharp as my other chef's knives that cost much less. The knife were dull. After making a large salad, having only chopped vegetables, I decided that I should look into warranty options before they might expire. So, I went to the manufacturer's website. Lo and behold, the manufacturer has a list of known counterfeit resellers and the Amazon seller is on that list. We contacted Amazon, and they refused to do anything, since the return window had closed. We argued that the policy didn't apply, as they had sold a counterfeit product. They responded by offering us $20 on a future purchase, while we spent $150 on a product sold through them, known to be counterfeit. Do I really need to file a suit with my state's attorney general, located in MA? Seems like Amazon is betting most people won't and will risk any damages awarded in addition to the refund. Has anyone gone through this? Thank you for any and all advice. Best of luck in the new year. Tent camper refuses to leave private land. Police say it's a civil matter. Thank you so much for any help. I have a homeless person residing in a tent on land that I own. He paid a nominal sum at first, but I wanted to help him out and hadn't charged him anything for over 3 months. I want him gone, but he is now refusing to leave. One police sergeant on the phone said it will be a simple trespassing case. When an officer came out the next day, when I called them to trespass them, they said that it's a civil matter. I'm going to the precinct Monday when it opens to speak to a higher up. I'm looking for information that distinguishes between squatters for property that has a house or dwelling on it vs one that is just tents, if there is a distinction. Or will I have to go through the eviction process? MN neighbor is suing me for $235,000 for not walking my child home from the bus stop. I just got civil court papers and I'm freaking out. The bus drops the neighborhood kids off the bus across the street from my house. Our house is located on a dead end. There is a T intersection and the bus does a 3-point turn. Here is a picture attempting to show how the bus drops kids off. Mind you, the proportions aren't exact. The furthest the bus backs up is 40 feet from my driveway. The end of the dead end where my son crosses is over 125 feet from where the bus finishing backing up. All of this is on camera. And after analyzing the footage, my son doesn't even reach the road until the bus is gone. It takes him longer to walk from the bus stop and through my neighbor's yard than it takes for the bus to back up and drive away. I couldn't find one instance of them being on the road at the same time. The neighbor is claiming $159,925 for 5 years of lost wages. Her affidavit states she cannot get a job because then there would be no one to protect my son, and someone needs to protect him from the bus potentially running him over until he is 13. This is around $20,000 a year. She is claiming another $75,000 for emotional distress for herself and her children. For the trauma being inflicted every day of my son almost getting run over by the bus. The school has never called. The bus driver never said anything to my son or I. I have waited for my son at the bus stop before, and she didn't say anything to me. Around 8 kids get dropped off at that stop. No parents are waiting besides her. I doubt this is relevant to the case, but this neighbor has some mental issues with her. Kids are not allowed to walk on grass because it might be sprayed with chemicals. She yelled over the fence last year when we were having a fire in our yard saying the ground is dry. You will burn the whole neighborhood down. Put it out. We also have a trampoline and she came to our door to tell us how dangerous it was, and it's just a matter of time before someone gets hurt. She also will not use a lawnmower because they are dangerous. And this lady shovels her whole ass driveway every winter for hours because snowblowers are dangerous. I offered to plow her driveway once and she told me, get that machine away from me. What, are you trying to kill me? I don't know what to do. Should I get a lawyer? Talk to her? Sit at the stop for my son? My 82-year-old grandmother has given her Jamona $26,000 over the last 7 months. My grandmother recently made my father the executor of her will and given him access to all of her bank accounts to help her keep track of her money. My dad was going through some of her recent purchases to understand why she was burning through money so fast and found she had been giving the owner of the gym absurd amounts of money. For starters, there was a $21,000 loan in November. My grandma isn't clear on if this was an investment or a gift. Then on the gym owner's birthday she asked for another $5,000 for gym equipment, which my grandmother gave. On top of all this, she pays $320 a month for a $150 a month gym. My grandma claims her gym owner is her friend and a good person and thinks we just want more money when she dies. My family is well off and couldn't care less about her money. We just want her to not have to sell her house and throw away all the money my grandpa worked for. Is this financial elder abuse? And is there any way legally we can stop this from continuing without my grandma's help? Pharmacy gave my controlled substance prescription to someone else. Refuses to admit they were in the wrong. Refuses to refill my prescription. Refuses to tell my doctor they screwed up. And is telling me they cannot help me until they do a month-long investigation. I take a medication which is considered a controlled substance. If I don't have my medication, I struggle to function properly. I go to a common pharmacy chain in Ontario, Canada. Last Monday I went to collect my refill of my medication. They weren't able to fully fill the full balance, so instead provided me with a week's worth of my medication and told me to collect the balance on the following day. On Wednesday evening I went in to collect my balance, only for the pharmacy technician to tell me she could not find my prescription. After taking my information, she told me that I had already collected my remaining balance Tuesday afternoon. I denied me ever doing this and was told she could not help me and I would need to come in Thursday morning to talk to head pharmacist to explain the situation. Thursday morning I went and talked to the head pharmacist, who insisted that I already collected my remaining balance, which I denied repeatedly. I told her to confirm via their security cameras that it was not me collecting the medication, which she did. Now repeatedly insisted that I allowed someone else to collect my remaining balance. I told her I have no one allowed to do that on my file, except my parents, who neither of them is alive anymore. Unfortunately, she told me she could not help me further and I need to report my medication as stolen, which I refused to do because I never received my balance and I felt that would be me admitting fault on my part. I called my doctor and explained my situation, and he immediately called the pharmacy. The head pharmacy tech told him that they dispensed my prescription to me. He told me unfortunately he cannot reissue me my prescription unless the pharmacy admits wrongdoing. The head pharmacist basically told me she could do nothing for me and asked me to leave or security would be called. I went home and called the corporate number of the pharmacy and explained everything to them. They agreed to open an investigation, however told me this could take well over a month to get a result. They gave me a case number and recommended that I make alternative arrangements with my doctor. On Friday I called my doctor again and explained everything one more time. He was sympathetic, however he told me he cannot reissue my prescription unless the pharmacy admits they screwed up because it is a controlled substance. Can anyone help me or tell me what the hell I should be doing here?